Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I specifically want to talk about physical media Jamie and what he means for the second 50 years of Dungeons and Dragons. So if you don't know, 2024 is a massively important year for Dungeons and Dragons. It's really, really important, right? So we're celebrating 50 years. And what I'm saying is that 2024 is a hinge in the history of Dungeons and Dragons. First 50 years is done. Second 50 years starts now, right? First 50 years is Dungeon Masters. What is a Dungeon Master? A Dungeon Master is a person. A Dungeon Master is a woman who gathers 5 Dragon Masters. Every single one of them makes a player character. The red player character, the blue player character, the white player character, the black player character, the green player character, and the Dungeon Master. 6 people at the table. That is, 5 Dragon Masters, 1 Dungeon Master. That's the table. She is a master of narrative. She is a master at engaging everyone at the table, and she's a master of, literally, not a joke, over 20,000 pages of canon in Dungeons and Dragons. That's the first 50 years of Dungeons and Dragons. That's not what this channel is about. You can go 100 other channels for that, right? Just be an amazing Dungeon Master. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hyper Dungeon Master, the person who is setting up the structure for the next 50 years. What is the hyper Dungeon Master? First of all, they are a Dungeon Master. What is the hyper part? We see that with Physical Media Jamie. So Physical Media Jamie is the #1 physical media advocate on YouTube. Okay. He lives in Australia, and he has a 3,000 box collection that cost him $36,000 of 4Ks and Blu-rays. He is the king of physical media, okay? And the reason why, and there's people who might have bigger collections, there might be people who have bigger channels, but he is the man, right? And the reason why is he is a smart, moral person who has attached his knowledge, commitment, and passion to the discipline of physical media. And I believe he is the key to understanding the second 50 years of Dungeons and Dragons. The second 50 years of Dungeons and Dragons is understanding hyper Dungeon Masters and hyper Dragon Masters, okay? And Physical Media Jamie, I think, only gives us clues toward hyper Dungeon Masters. He doesn't really show us the shape of hyper Dragon Masters. That's a different video, different column of knowledge. But what do we learn when we watch Physical Media Jamie? Okay, so the reason why I can't watch is I do not care about physical media. I really don't, right? But I cannot stop watching Physical Media Jamie's channel, and the reason why is he's done every single thing I want to accomplish on Dungeons and Dragons. He's accomplished it on physical media, right? And what is that? He has become a triumvirate within himself. He has become 3 elite things within one person. For physical media, he is 3 things. He is a celebrator. His celebration of physical media is also this. You don't need to watch any other video to understand this video, but if you want to know more about Physical Media Jamie and his links to Dungeons and Dragons as I understand them, as I have forged them, watch this playlist. Just link below. You'll find Physical Media Jamie's channel, and you'll find this entire playlist, right? Everything I have to say about Physical Media Jamie and what he means for the future of Dungeons and Dragons. So what is he? He's a celebrator. That's a big deal. He is the best celebrator of physical media anywhere on YouTube. And I don't need to worry about other sites because YouTube's crushed them all as far as social media. YouTube is the king of all social media sites. All right. So if he's the best on YouTube, he's the best in the world, in my humble opinion. And I think he is the best on YouTube. So he celebrates it, and his celebration is immediate and genuine and exciting before he opens his mouth, right? He shows up in his video. He's got 3 walls behind him that are perfectly organized, perfectly lit. His passion is communicated before physical media, right? His commitment to it, his knowledge of it is communicated before he opens his mouth. That's incredible. That is incredible, right? So he's a celebrator, right? What is he next? Next, he is, so he is a guardian. This cannot be understated. A smart, moral person. He says this in many videos. I am protecting art, right? He's saying these artists, right? These lighters, these gaffers, right? These directors, these writers, these actors, I will protect their life's work, right? And like, this is not a joke, and this is the thing that's incredible, right? And this is what this channel is about. I'm not talking this. We ain't talking about casuals, right? If Vladimir Putin nukes America tomorrow, Physical Media Jamie is right there, right? And Ghostbusters is preserved on his shelf. He is protecting art. He is a guardian. He is a sentinel that stands on the wall. And you're like, what's it mean just to put a disc on it? He's not just putting a disc on a piece of wood, right? He says this. He's like, if you're going to have a collection like this, you need the space for it, right? He works hard. He has made a stable life. He has made a space where he can live, right? And he's made a space where he can protect these things, right? And he shared it. He didn't just sit in his basement and hoard it to himself. He shared it with the world beautifully, right? So if there's ever anything that threatens it, people would like come and say, hey, Physical Media Jamie, do you need to move your collection? Do you need help, right? And so even by him sharing his collection with the world, by showing it to the world, he's put this layer of protection on American art, right? I am an American in the middle of Philadelphia. I owe a debt to Physical Media Jamie sitting in Australia. He's a guardian, right? Last, he's a champion. He's a champion. So you know his knowledge, commitment, and passion to physical media before he opens his mouth. Then he opens his mouth, right? And he's humble, and he's smart, and he's kind, and he's tolerant, and he's a beautiful human being. And he says, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I love. This is why it's important. This is why I made these choices, right? And he champions it. He champions it, right? He takes his virtual sword out, and he hacks down the Jolly Roger goblins, and he hacks down virtually the streamer goblins, right? And he says, no, you could call yourself a movie fan, but the reality is you're a movie casual. I'm a movie champion, right? And he's a champion, and he shows a different path, a higher level, more commitment, something better. And that's where we land. What is a hyper dungeon master? Everything, every YouTube channel has been talking about for 30 years. You got to master that. And the next 50 years, the next 50 years, the next 50 years is you have to be a hyper dungeon master. You have to be a highly skilled dungeon master. And then you need to be a celebrator, a guardian, and a champion for Dungeons and Dragons at the level that Physical Media Jamie has become a celebrator, a guardian, a champion of physical media. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion, and I'm very thankful that you let me share it with you. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.